Welcome back to Onigatana's third devlog. I'm Cameron here at Repair4 Interactive, and I'm excited to show you what we've been working on in the last couple of weeks. Two major things. First thing, what we call the rescaling, and secondly, our new stance, lightning stance. As a quick rundown, what we're calling the rescaling is the process of changing all the sizes of all the objects in our game. Why? Well, we maybe made the character 7 meters tall, and consequently everything in the game had to be scaled up to be that size as well relative to the player. What consequences did this have? It meant that things were not rendering properly. The first thing that we ran into was a terrain unity issue, where the grass would not render very far from the player, and you could see it clipping in and clipping out only a few meters away. This is because in engine, that was quite a significant portion of distance. However, from the perspective of the player, it was simply not that far. And secondly, we think that it perhaps has some issues with lighting performance, given that the light would have to cover so much more space and calculate so many more rays. But before we show you that, let's talk about something more exciting, our new stance in Onigatana, lightning stance. Instead of just me talking, let me show you what it actually does. As you can see, our basic attack animations are back. Thank you, Bradley. Realize I'm in fire stance. Now switch to lightning stance. Here, I use my offensive ability, a projectile. It's pretty hard to see in the dark here. But we're throwing a projectile, hitting the enemy, and it launches us up into the sky. We become a lightning bolt and strike down. Here we can see that we have our defensive ability being activated, where we summon these lightning beacons. If you repress the defensive ability, you recall along them, or if the ability times out, the same happens. Lastly, we have our charged attack. Our charged attack for the lightning stance is our classic samurai strike, where you dash through the target to the other side. Fantastic mobility option. Now let's go bug our designer, Zane, to figure out exactly what is lightning's identity and how it differs from the fire stance. Lightning stance. What function does it serve in Onigatana, and how exactly is it different to the fire stance?
Lightning stance is about being fast. It's the stance that you can go to when you want to move quickly, or if you want to get power from your movement.
Next up, we have the rescaling. So rescaling everything in the game creates bugs. That's just how it goes. Things that were working before no longer work. And so this section is, be ready for it, also bugs of the fortnight. So this is the rescaled pickups. Don't mind the icons. This is what the scale was like before. These are just the prefabs, unedited. You can see how they changed into the UI here. This here is a bare bones scene. We've just rescaled the player. Every single one of these squares is about 1 meter. The player is about roughly 1.8 meters tall. We can see here that the dash, our movement hasn't been updated correctly. And you can see how large this dash is going. We're dashing about, I don't know, 15 meters. 15 meters. All right, let's have a little look at a door in a previous scene. So this is a 2-scale door. We had a look, can't remember off the top of my head, put on the screen the height of a normal Australian door. But have a look at it in the rest of our scene in size comparison. We can see the player. It's almost unrecognizable. It's this tiny little thing on the ground. But that is a fully sized door. The player should be smaller than that. Can you see how just like along this rim, the grass cuts out? It just is no longer there. That is the consequence of our huge scale. Next up, Gibbs City. The player's attack range is a little busted, as you can see, but beyond that, the size of the blood and the gibs that come out from the training dummy, it's a little bit large. The next thing is the enemies. Let's spawn in a couple here. Looks about right. Using our fire stance here to summon some fire tornadoes. Pretty cool, pretty fun. I like this bug. But let's go ahead and shrink them down to size. Alright, this is what the enemy looks like now inside of its previous capsule and nav mesh components. We have a big grappling hook. Pretty goofy. This is a super throw bug where when we picked up a new pickup, the way we would do it before is we would throw the other pickup onto the ground, and as you can see, it kind of Superman throws it halfway across the thing and launches it deep into the ground. It was a fun little bug. The enemy's projectiles just stopped and ceased to move, and then the player's attack hitbox kind of broke. As you can see, it hits when we look off to the side, but when we look at it, it does not hit the training dummy. I am pressing the attack button here. At this point of recording, the attack animations went back in. That brings us to the end of the third devlog for Onigatana. So please, if you're enjoying these videos, let us know. Comment down any advice or any opinions that you have. We would love to chat. If you want to get in even more direct contact or want to follow us more closely, click on our social links below. Please subscribe, like, do all the things. And like always, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Did I cringe myself out? Yes, I did.